Hi everyone, this is Derek with Lyonic. This video is a tutorial of the Lyonic Lock browser extension. A recent update of the software has changed the icon from the keyhole that you see here to the key that you see here, but in the rest of the video it will show the old icon.
I'll be using Google Chrome throughout the video. Firefox works mostly the same way. First, let's review the options when we click on the Lyonic Lock toolbar icon. You'll notice I have a blue 2 on my icon. That's because I have 2 credentials stored for the site that we're on currently. You'll see this icon on various web pages with login fields to give you easy access to your credentials. But you can also click on it here on the toolbar at any time. We have the Websites tab. The Websites tab organizes all of your website-related credentials into these categories. Current website, this is the site that you're currently on. My Vault, these are your individual non-shared credentials. Next we have Company Vault. This is where any shared company credentials are stored. And All Websites is a combination of everything. The current website changes based on the current URL that your browser is navigated to. This allows Lyonic Lock to offer up the credential to sign in for the particular site that you're on. For example, I'm on Lyonic.com, so it's offering my credential for the Lyonic support site. As mentioned, I have 2 credentials. This is where I can choose them. Again, to illustrate the current website category changing depending on where you're navigated to, let's move over to Amazon. Current website changed to Amazon. Let's have a look at the search. The search option will search through all vaults. Just type in the credential you're looking for example, the Lyonic support site, and there's our credential. Let's look at some of the other options when we hover over a credential. We have our launch button. Choose the credential that you'd like to launch with, and when you click the launch button, a new tab will open and automatically enter those credentials. Also, when we hover, we can copy the username. This will copy the username to the clipboard so that you can paste it somewhere else. Next, we have copy password. Same thing, it'll copy the password to the clipboard. If we click the 3 dots, we see the remaining options. Again, we have copy username, copy password, and launch URL, but we can also view the password. You'll need to click on the eye to view the password. We can also copy the password to the clipboard from this screen. Let's cancel and go back. We'll click on our 3 dots again. Under View Password, we have Edit Password. Edit Password is where we can modify all of the details for the credential that we're on. We can edit the username, the password itself, the description for the credential, the type of credential that it is, the vault, whether it's My Vault or Company Vault. If you're using folders, you can select the folder that you'd like to store the credential in, the URL for the site, and any notes. Let's go back. The last option is Disable Password. This removes it from your list. Let's have a look at the Credentials tab. The Credentials tab is simply another way of viewing all credentials, since not all credentials are necessarily for a website. If you're using folders to organize your credentials, these folders will be visible to you on the Credentials tab. Let's have a look at Settings. We'll click the Settings gear in the bottom left corner, followed by Settings. From here, we can view account information, application behavior, where we have auto capture credentials, This is what allows Lyonic Lock to ask if you'd like a credential stored when you're logging into an account for the first time that Lyonic Lock is not aware of. We recommend turning this feature on. Autofill will automatically populate username and password fields for you. Login upon selection will basically click the login or submit button for you after you've selected a credential. Instant login can speed things up even more by combining the options above. We recommend starting with the first two settings turned on, though some websites may not be designed properly to allow Lyonic Lock to autofill, so settings may require some tweaking depending on the sites that you use. The Open Websites In feature allows you to choose whether a new tab is open or an existing tab is used when using the Launch feature. The Default Tab feature, this will allow you to set the default to launch to the Credentials tab if you prefer that. The timeout value is how long before Lyonic Lock will force you to log in again. 30 minutes, up to 30 days. Let's go back to our main settings menu and look at domain configuration. Domain configuration, this is the setting I mentioned earlier where Lyonic Lock is aware of the current URL in your browser. We recommend sticking with the default. Also on the setting gear, we have Launch Passportal. This will take us straight to the web UI. Next, let's have a look at the password generator feature. In this example, I'm going to change my password for my Office 365 account and will use Lyonic Lock to generate the new password. First, I need to log into my Office 365 account. Let's navigate to where I changed my password. We'll click Change Password. I'll need to enter my old password first. So we'll click the Lyonic Lock icon. It sees where I'm at and offers that credential. So I'll copy the password. Paste in the password to this field. Now we need to generate a new password. So let's go edit the credential and generate one. First, we'll choose Edit Password. The button that you see here generates a new password. We can view it. We can also modify the generate settings to modify the length of the password, or you can type in a number of characters that you'd like the password to be, and you can also choose which characters are used when the password is generated. I'll generate a new one, copy it to the clipboard. Now I'm going to tell Lyonic Lock to use that password and to save it. Now Lyonic Lock has stored the password, we actually need to set it with Office 365. I copied it earlier, and now we'll paste it in. Various websites will of course have different ways to navigate to the account page for changing your password for that particular site, but you'll always have the Lyonic Lock portion there with you at each of those sites. Next, we're going to cover manually adding a new credential to Lyonic Lock. Let's click on our icon, and then the plus icon. Now we simply need to fill in all of the fields that we went over earlier. The username. You can manually type in a password, but we highly recommend using the password generator so that you have a strong, unique password. Give the new credential a description, a credential type, select which vault you'd like to store it in. If you're using folders, select the folder that you'd like to store it in. Finally, the URL. If you like to enter notes, you can do that at this time. Finally, click Save. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for your time, and as always, if you need support, please reach out to us on our support site. Take care.